even if yeah,
Okay. It says recording in progress. I don't know what
ditto.
you're recording it too?
Well, it says request to send something to host. So it looks like you might have to approve something.
Okay.
Oh, so do I. Okay. Thing that says something.
Yeah. Is it yeah, I gotta pop up. I said allow. Are you
Okay. So it says recording on my end.
all right? Um can I talk? I mean, are you right there?
And I'm here. And
Okay.
no, you can't talk. Uh, man, I was listening to, I was listening to the album this morning,
To what?
the, to Morning.
Oh,
And man, God, how it starts is, it's so indicative of every Al Jarreau. Just that it's the, you
yeah,
know, just the,
yeah,
you can tell it's going to be a good Al Jarreau song from the drum beat. And
absolutely.
I love the like I don't know what sound it is, the digital digital wind chimes.
You sounded at the beginning. The glissando. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Rhodes. That they there's like Jay Graydon, at some point, maybe a couple years before or a year before that, yeah, he rented a Rhodes from some music place there in LA, and he he was just like, man, something just sounds much better about this than any other Rhodes that I've rented. So, he went to go find it again or something, and it was like buried, or I don't know. Anyway, he made a big deal about it, and he made like the guy dig it out. And I want to say it's like Model E, or it's like has an E on it or a D or something. That's just just like their cataloging system. Um, and so it just became like the go-to session Rhodes, because somehow it just sounded like better than any other, better than other ones, even though it's like supposed to be identical. And then in more recent years, he uh, tracked it down from some guy who was who some other guy who owned it, and he had it. I guess he bought it, or he bought it with a partner, and then they had it restored, and then he made a plug-in, or I mean, some software
Yeah,
based on that
model.
road. So, where they did like a shitload of samples, at different velocities and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Wow.
to create an emulation. Um, I mean, obviously it's not going to be as good as the real thing, but
That is awesome.
an
That's
excellent
awesome.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So,
mean, I was listening. It's not just at the beginning, I mean, it's you can hear some more of them later in the song.
mhm.
Uh, and I was just thinking, I was freaking out on what is that? I was just like, what? How did
Yeah.
that happen? What is that?
It's
So,
like extra.
dang,
It's like really chimey, but really warm. It's like
yeah,
it's not like a
yeah,
harsh chiminess, which I guess some roads, they're always pleasing to some degree, but this is like extra pleasing. So, and actually that Herb Alpert thing I sent you,
yeah,
I think they use. I mean, I've been listening to that CD in the car, the Magic Man CD, which is great. I mean, but I'm pretty sure that they use that Rhodes on it, because it's just well, for
the
one thing,
particular one.
David Foster's playing keyboard on that album, and
Yeah.
he and Jay Graydon were kind of the ones who kind of fixated on that. So it had, to me, it sounds like the same Rhodes, but anyway.
Yeah, well, okay. So do you think so if he rented that Rhodes and then went back to dig for it and stuff, I guess did he eventually try to buy it, you think? Or did you think
Yeah,
he
no,
just
I
kept
think, I
renting it for
mean,
sessions
I'm
and stuff?
probably getting this some details wrong, but I mean, he has a video where he talks about it, or he talks about it in an interview, or several interviews. But I think that somebody else, they kind of lost track of it over the years, as Rhodes had kind of gone out of popularity, and then somebody bought it, and then they had it just sitting around maybe, and then he got together with this software engineer who was going to do the
Wow.
soft, and I think the guy who did the software uh emulation of it owns it now. But uh
Dang, that's good.
yeah,
That's
it's a
good
good
stuff.
road sound. I mean, man, yeah. Yeah, I wish that makes me think of the road. I used to have a Rhodes. It was like a mini one, one of those gosh, I don't know what's the I guess a full size one has like 73 keys or something. I had like a 50, 52 or 50, 54. I don't know, something, a number of keys. But
What'd you do with it?
well, I mean, some have to do with us. When we were in Cincinnati for Tony and Tina's wedding, if you'll remember, I had to get a spare set of keys for that. Did you hear that that light thunder?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
barely.
yeah,
It's barely, but I
yeah.
heard it.
Yeah, it's weird because up here in Connecticut, it seems like I don't hear thunder as much as I did in Texas. But
Yeah, definitely.
um, okay, so anyway, I had that gold Honda Civic station wagon, which we drove up to Cincinnati in, and then I was about to buy that blue Toyota minivan, and then Brad was going to buy that station wagon from me, and so I had to get a spare set of keys or something. So I contacted my mom and told her to go into my storage unit down there in Arlington and get whatever it was from me, paperwork maybe, I don't know. But she left the lock off there, and somebody got in and just like cleaned out. I had like a marimba, I had a Rhodes, I had like these, these electronic, like early analog electronic drums, Air, the ones on all the disco records
I
go
remember, yeah.
boo, boo, boo,
Right, right.
and just like gets, I mean, like a Fender, like a Strat, amps,
That
uh,
sucks. I don't remember that happening.
all cleaned
Like, I
out.
mean, you
So,
telling me.
I think somebody contacted her or me and said, like they discovered that was the case, and they, yeah, they got a hold of me or her, or, yeah, emergency contact, and they let me know what's going on. And so she went back down there and put a lock on it, and there, it was just, I mean, ultimately the things that were left were just like personal items that have sentimental value, pictures and whatever, memory stuff and furniture, but yeah, all the music shit was gone. So I lost the Rhodes in that.
Wow. Did that,
No,
is
you
that the
cut
one
out.
that just
You got jerky there for a second. What did you just say? Damn it.
hear me?
Yeah, I mean, are you going off of your cell service, or are you doing
Yeah.
Wi-Fi?
No, my service should be seamless, and you're seamless.
Okay. Well,
Can you
you're
hear
a
me?
little jerky, and your face looks like silly putty.
Well, that's what my kids do every time they get on the phone, ever.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Well, we'll see because mine's recording too. So
Okay.
we'll
Oh.
we'll get to the bottom of
Oh,
who's
well, okay. Well, if yours is recording better,
yeah,
um, I'm just gonna. For
do
some reason,
it. Are you
I just
cleaning
want
your
to clean.
camera?
I want to clean my camera
Ah, man, I'm gonna
lens.
do it. I'm gonna do
I
it.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna help. I'm just curious. I just put a little alcohol, and I don't know if that. I mean, I just was thinking like that. That makes sense to do. You around there? You there?
Yeah, can't you see me?
There we go. Hey,
No, no help. I was just saying the Honda Civic, the gold Honda Civic. Is that
yeah,
the one that you just
Bill McCluskey. I lost you there, but maybe you heard me. Damn it. Man,
I don't know. Can you, am I
yeah,
glitchy?
you're super glitchy. You're recording
You want to
this?
get, yeah. And it's not, I mean, it's not glitchy on my end. Like I'm not freezing.
Okay. All right. Well, then, um, yeah. So, yeah, were you gonna say something about the gold Civic?
Yeah. I mean, I was just going to say, well, it seemed like we've had, haven't you had two vehicles that you've had to somewhat abandon? Like that was one, but wasn't there like a blue one too?
Yeah. I mean, kind of, yeah, there was I mean the first car I had was my mom's 84 Chevrolet Caprice that she gave me. And I mean I pretty much had to abandon that in a well, I abandoned it in a field because I was mudding. And then I just thought I'd like walk away and, you know, just not deal with it. But I guess the cops, I just didn't figure that the cops would track down the address and come see
They traced you
it to
down.
visit. So
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, I was just I got lost and was trying to do a shortcut." And it's like, got turned around. Yeah, and you're like, "Yeah, you got turned around quite a bit. Let's see all the loops, the loops."
Were you alone?
No, I had a bunch of friends, but I mean, obviously I was just alone or well, there with my mom at the apartment when the cops came.
Right. Man, I wish you'd just been alone doing like angry donuts in the field by yourself, as a teenager.
So, I watched that Julian Lage video. Those two Julian
Oh
Lage
my,
videos you sent.
yeah, I forgot about all that.
Well,
And we didn't
okay.
get to
Well,
talk.
let me just start by. I mean, I don't think you probably it didn't sound like you read this, but I'll just read the first comment under the video here. Let me go to it real quickly here. Okay. So this is at least the comment that it's showing me as being the top one. It says this is and this is the Rick Beato. You there?
Okay, I totally lost connection, so
Oh, okay.
you're gonna have
I'm
to
just saying
completely start
this
over.
is the first comment that's listed, under this is the Rick Beato interview of Julian Lage. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I just thought this would be a good place to start, talking about him. The first comment says, "I'm not gonna lie, I took too many edibles and this came on autoplay, and I thought he was interviewing Abe Lincoln."
Oh God, that's good. That is fucking good.
Yeah,
That is good.
yeah, it reminds me of the of the what what's the one that the Jimmy Page and uh
Oh yeah.
what's the comment
It's a trio. Jimmy Page and the Edge and Jack White. Uh I don't remember what the comment was, but it ended up just being, the Jimmy Page was the wizard,
yeah, yeah.
he was the wizard.
um so somebody replied to that comment, and I mean it's not, I mean it's not as necessary as funny, but it's just kind of goes into the next thing that I was going to mention, which is somebody just said totally kind of an incredible resemblance, and Lincoln was said to have this kind of voice too. Hmm. um,
Man, I want to take a screenshot of that's great. I want to take a screenshot of Julian in there and then just superimpose a Lincoln hat on him. And
ah,
I think it's gonna be
good,
great.
good.
That's what we did to the Jimmy Page thing too. Me and Daniel took screenshots of him like, wizarding at the edge, just nasty, and then drew lightning bolts and stuff. It was good. It was good. Okay, so keep going. Keep going.
No,
Keep
yeah.
going.
So, I started watching it, and man, I mean, his voice is just incredible. I mean, it's like I mean, it's creepy. It's and I mean, I see what you mean. It's it's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of low hanging fruit to start, going off on looks and stuff. But definitely, it looks like there's some kind of like a forceps accident at birth. That
Yeah, yeah. Mike, or it's like what microcephaly is? The West Nile virus on the pregnant ladies, and then they have the babies with the you know misshapen tiny peanut head thing. I mean, everybody's got lots of people have a touch of it. Anyway. Oh, and Abe Lincoln had a disease that Liza had. What's it called? Maybe he has that. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
lupus,
No, but it's like that.
um, Lyme.
Close.
Hmm.
Did you? Okay,
Did you find it? You're glitching.
it's called Marfans. Yeah,
Marfans. Damn it. You are just like you're frozen and your face looks like smeared silly putty. Like somebody took a fresh piece of silly putty and just like put it on, in the on a comic strip in the newspaper, and then it's where it had a perfect face on it, and they just went, yeah, across it. Damn. Whoa. Okay.
okay. I'm back,
Yeah.
but you're tiny now.
I'm tiny. Oh, yeah, you gotta do
Yeah,
the
I got
gallery.
you. I got you now.
Okay, so Marfans, is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna read it to you. It's a connective tissue disorder. So affects many structures, including skeleton, lung.
Damn it.
Disease is usually, am I off?
Well, you
Can you hear
said
me?
it affects skeletal, lungs, and then you glitched out.
Okay, skeletal lungs, eyes, heart, blood vessels. The disease is characterized by unusually long limbs and is believed to have affected Abe Lincoln. Okay, so anyway, it's in there somewhere.
Okay.
Keep going because I want to
Yeah.
hear if
No,
you got
I
more.
mean, so he starts uh yeah, I mean it sounds like well, I think I'm getting the two videos kind of mixed up because I think I actually clicked on the first one where he's in a room where he's in that, like, it just seems like some kind of a, yeah, I don't even know. I mean, it's like they're really trying to do something with that room. Everybody's congregating around the group, and it almost seems like a ritual. Like a ritual room, not a
Okay, yeah, yeah.
not
Well,
a performance
it
space. And it
yeah,
just seems
yeah.
like he's going to, he's the pastor, the cleric or something, and he's gonna start off, and it's just like he starts playing slowly and extremely thoughtfully, and I mean, it's terrible. It's like he's just wanting to just so deeply emotionally connect. And I mean he's doing it, but in the worst and most stereotypical, I don't know, just like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I mean, he's doing it in the way like a blockbuster movie would, that is just following certain rules, that like, if you do this, is you're gonna, the chances of you getting to uh people is pretty good. But he's playing it, and it's like, and he's like, and then it's like he plays it, he's like, I mean, it's like he reacts, it's like, I mean, just like, some kind of like an injury in slow motion, an injury and reacting to it in slow motion, but it's more like pleasure, it made me think what it reminded me of, or somehow what I thought of was like in Police Academy 1 when Commandant Lassard thought that Mahoney was sucking his dick under the podium. You remember that? Like how he
No.
acted? He was like, oh, oh,
Oh, okay.
oh, oh. It's just like, it's like sensitive, it's like there's nothing, really like aggressively outward, reaction happening. It's just like all like just kind of like just up
Yeah.
and like yeah. I mean,
Well, yeah, and I want to comment on the room. I mean, it reminded me of like being at TCJC, like in the band room at TCJC when there would be like a mock jazz performance, and there were like several sub players. Like, there were two or three drummers and two or three everything. So the sub drummers and the sub people would, or whatever, like the band would play a song or two, and all the subs would be kind of just the outliers making kind of a circle in the room. And
mhm.
then, the next tune, I would get up and Rich or somebody else would play drums, and it would just be it was kind of like a fake lecture hall. It ended up being like a fake lecture hall vibe. But did you get this
Oh
guy?
yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I just started cracking up. I mean, you called it. You said it looks like he's playing a satellite dish. That's I mean, I was like, what? I was trying to imagine like, okay, what's he talking about? It's like, man, that's yeah. I mean, he's got like a feisty satellite symbol.
I mean, we've all played that cymbal at that angle because you accidentally hit the wing nut loose, and your cymbal goes thunk, and you're just like, "Ah," you know,
Yeah.
you're just like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
man.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
it's
it
crazy.
makes me
Like,
picture. It makes me picture the point where he hit the wing nut loose, and you don't know how far over the cymbal is going to go, so it scares you. You're just like, go, and
yeah,
you don't want it to like
yeah,
get in your space, but then you realize you can still play it. It's still playable if hit it just the right way and
yeah.
don't hit it back to the other side. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, that one the video where they were doing the in the ritual room. Yeah, it just made me, it's like in those horror movies, supernatural movies, where it's like everything seems to be normal in some building, or in some, office or maybe an apartment building, and then they start suspecting that there's like something going on, and so the main character starts investigating, and then they end up like hiding in a room, and like peering through the cracks of something behind, under a table or whatever. And then they witness the devil worshiping going on, and I mean, that's sort of what I feel like, that I was just like hiding somewhere, like watching the ceremony happen. Uh, God, it's
Is it,
terrible.
I mean, is it, it's weird because I saw the Beato thing first, and like I was intrigued by his mannerisms, obviously, at first.
Yeah.
And but then that's when I just like skipped around. You skip around to like you see like the bottom of the YouTube page where there's a mountain, you're like, okay, a lot of people have watched this. So I
Okay.
just, I just got to his playing where he played Autumn Leaves, and he was incorporating the do 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 do, like the beginning part, just to like, hey, it's a wink. We got you. We know what you're,
Yeah, yeah,
we know what you're doing.
yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, how would anybody play with this guy? That's why I started looking for who plays with him. What does his like actual performance look like? And then it turned out it's exactly like the Rick Beato. It's like just like he played the Autumn Leaves on Rick Beato, just as selfish as if the two other guys are not there. And there they go playing stuff that sounds like I just felt like if you three were in the same room, you'd be playing with each other. But it's just like it's just a version of a bass player doing the same shit that he was doing, and then the drummer, with the satellite dish doing the same independently. They have nothing to do with each other. They're just three independent people in the same room,
Yeah,
as selfish as
they
they could
lucked. I mean,
possibly be.
they lucked out that they were, that it was in general the song was a wash. I mean that was lucky. So it kind of like allows some fudging, and then also that they're you know following some kind of it's kind of in the same key, or I mean they just kind of lucked out. If anybody thought that they were together.
I can see why there's only one tune. I mean, what's the point of doing that again under a different heading? I mean, it's just
Yeah,
it doesn't make any it
yeah,
doesn't make any sense at all. He's got one trick, and it's three independent people doing the same thing he's trying to do on that fucking dumb Telecaster.
yeah.
Loop
I
thing.
mean, the best he can do is just keep doing one interviews and demonstrating one thing for sure. Man, yeah, it's a good call. It's just like it's a I mean, he's a circus act that is just can do his trick, and then and it's done.
I was glad to have found him. I sent you something. I sent you some. Oh, wait. No, no, no. Yeah, I sent you the Roy Haynes after that.
Well, I have one more thing to say, and I maybe you.
Okay, keep going. I gotta pee while we talk. I
Okay,
think
well,
I
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. You're in my I
Okay.
have yeah, you're right.
Jesus Christ. Um. All right. So, you know, well, so you said you skipped to where the mountain of views are, and I must have maybe you like hit it right like when he started doing Autumn Leaves, but about 15 seconds later or before he starts talking about it beforehand, or he starts building up to it, and he's talking about like what he how he approaches music, and he said something like fuck I mean something to the effect of like that he likes to approach playing songs in a tantric way you know
Oh my God, no.
yeah he and what was great about it was that I watched the other video first and just got that sense of just some kind of like ritual thing. Uh,
Jeez.
got a ritual thing, vibe or whatever. Sorry, I had a pop up. It said, running out of time, upgrade to pro. Anyway,
Yeah,
then I saw the Rick Beato. So I already had that in mind, and then he like just said, yeah. I mean, he's just like a fucking, you know, yeah. I mean, he wants everybody to watch him jack off
tantric.
pretty much. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, just like tantrically jack off. Um, and so he was like, he was like, I just want to play a tune and just, let the waves happen and just like, however, and just spend a long time, just make myself spend a long time on it. I mean, of course, I'm sure there's some kind of value in doing that, but he's just a particular person, you don't want to hear present that concept.
We'd rather you keep it a secret. Intimate, very intimate secret. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Talk about Roy Haynes.
It's YYZ. Did you hear it? Did you hear YYZ?
Yeah.
I mean, he just like, it's just, okay, yeah, he starts out with, you're intrigued by his animation just right off the bat. Then he starts his solo by looking behind him. He's just like, Okay, who's back there? And then he does it again, like he didn't get, like the person that he was looking at didn't see him the first time. So he's
Yeah.
like, until he gets the attention, and then he smiles and he turns back around. He turns back around. And then you see Chick Corea come up behind him, just like, and he's flailing away, and I'm like giggling. I'm like
Yeah.
giggling and watching it, and then YYZ comes in, clears bell, just like, and you're like, oh well, that's Sting's synchronicity from Carl Jung. It just happened to happen, but nope. I mean, he stays on it, makes sure, and then he plays a little bit more solo, and at the very end of his solo, he references it again. Not trying to do it, but it's exactly what he was playing.
Yeah.
I loved it, man. I loved it.
Um, he when you're talking about how he's turning around and it made me think of, especially just seeing you imitate it. It it's like the really bad kid that is doing something wrong, and they're looking back to see if mom's watching, and like, or like, like, is this okay? And maybe it's something like they're not sure if what they're doing is like, maybe it's okay in some situations, but they just, they're worried, so that just looking back to see if mom's looking, and if she's giving a thumbs up, like, go ahead.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was, yeah, it's something, man. That anime. Did you notice his floor tom? And well, like they did a back view of his drums, and I mean, his snare drum and floor tom are both about right here, which is exactly where the toms are. I mean, it's just like it kind of looks like the
Okay.
marching toms. I mean, they're all exactly the same thing, which makes you play a certain way you know,
Yeah.
when you're doing the thing up here,
Yeah. Yeah, somehow that makes, I don't know why, but it makes me feel like, think of Mick Fleetwood.
Yeah, he's one. But me and Daniel always talk about Mick Fleetwood I think it's the chain, you know. Uh And if you don't love me now, and Mick Fleetwood, they pan to him, and he gets, he's got a shockwave going all the way through him and back. And if you don't love me now, it's just like go home, go home, go home, and you see it just go go home, go home, go home. Because his floor tom, his snare drummer up there, and he go home, go home, go home.
Oh man, he's a monster. I mean, looks like something coming out of a grave for sure.
Oh, speaking of Monster and Grave, but neither one of those is. And then halfway through well, at the beginning, actually, the Roy Haynes solo is when just off camera, he's bitten off, a piece of beef jerky that's a little too large for his mouth, and he's just stuck with it. So he's stuck. So
My God, he does it for so long. It's great. Oh my God.
just swallow. You're just thinking, just swallow it. Just swallow it. Just get it down.
God, I mean, just, yeah, it's just like such like a bad kid with, too much gum in his mouth, and, looking to make sure mom's not watching, or that she's, doesn't give a shit what he's doing. And he's just like, what would he be doing? What would a bad kid be doing in that situation?
you know, I mean, I want to put water balloons in it. Like you know, somewhere they're not supposed to be. Maybe in the house.
Yeah. Oh no. Hang on. Coming.